right.
Okay, so good evening. My name is Christiaan Desmond. I'm a director here at the City College, and my role is to support the programs, and part of it is working directly with our apprenticeships. So we have the Technest apprenticeship, which you've been hearing about all night. Let's see if I can get this work. And then, Greg, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'll introduce myself later, Christiaan. Go for it, and I'll come in at the end whenever you're ready.
So how the apprenticeship really works is once you complete the Technest program, or once you get about 3/4 way through the program, you would be able to go ahead to the Microfacturing Institute's website, and through that website, you'd be able to submit your information and basically apply for the apprenticeship. And what we're looking for are students that have completed the Python coding class, the data science, the Internet of Things, and the entrepreneurship courses that you've been hearing about tonight. How it works is your coursework you'll take here at City College. We've been fortunate and very lucky to work with Microfacturing Institutes, where we've partnered with them, and they're helping support us with an employer network and helping us with the placement of apprentices into the workforce. So what the apprenticeship basically is it's registered with the Department of Apprenticeship Standards, which is in California, and it's a 2,000-hour, one-year apprenticeship. And that would be a full-time paid apprenticeship. The exact pay would vary depending on the employer. And another part of the program would be you would be able to work with Steve, who you saw earlier, who's our job developer, and he would be able to help you develop your resume and help coach you in any interviewing skills that would also be able to assist you with the placement process. But some of the benefits of apprenticeships is it's a customized training that meets industry standards. Apprentices have an increased knowledge, and they're able to transfer on-the-job learning from experienced mentor combined with educational courses to support their work-based learning. There's an enhanced retention of apprentices where it's about 91% with employers. For employers, it's a very stable and highly qualified source of employees. And it's a systematic approach to training. So in the Technest program, these are some of the work processes or some of the different areas that you'll focus with that are registered with the DAS. Software development, programming, software testing, debugging, operations and systems analysis, and object-oriented design. Okay. Does anybody have any questions with the apprenticeship portion of the Technest program?
Yeah, I just see that Elham has a question.
Sure.
Yes. Hello. Actually, I have two questions, but first I will ask my question that is related to Technest. I was wondering that if the Technest program has any program that is related to front-end developing, like mostly JavaScript, HTML, CSS.
So the short answer is no. The longer answer is that one of the courses that counts as an elective in the level 2 certificate is CIS 47, which is our introduction to web development. In CIS, we have a web developer certificate that I'm actually in the process of updating, well, right now. So that, I mean, we already have a front-end developer certificate. It's the introduction to, I mean, it's the web programmer certificate. So that's the answer for that.
Okay, thank you so much. helped. And my second question is related to the work. I don't know what to call it. Workforce support from the college. I was wondering that is it just related for the Technest, or you support and help students for other majors as well?
So we provide support for any student that's here at City College. The support we've been talking about tonight is specific to Technest, but it is not unique to Technest. So if you had an issue or need in terms of resume development or something like that, you could reach out to Stephen, who's our job developer. You could reach out to Lawrence through at Work the Future. There's many different options and areas of support that we've also not mentioned tonight that are available to all of our students.
And Lawrence's group has, courses that are within that are not in, that aren't, college courses, but are courses that can help you learn more about, skill set improvement and stuff like that. So even if you decide you don't want to take CIS 106, I would still strongly recommend that you contact, Work to Future and set up a time with one of the career counselors that they have there, in addition to spending some time with Stephen, because Stephen's fantastic, and you should absolutely contact Stephen.
Sure.
That's correct. Without wanting to steal anybody away from City College, I'll just mention very quickly that Work the Future is also partnered with a number of other community colleges in the area for similar pathways in a number of different other industry sectors, advanced manufacturing, for example, and other aspects of the IT area and the health sector. So, yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Mark. And thanks for the question, Ella.
Did want to answer one quick question, and then I'll turn it over to Greg. The apprenticeship is 2,000 hours. It doesn't have to be completed necessarily within 1 year, but upon completion of the apprenticeship and the hours, you will receive a certificate from the Division of Apprenticeship Standards, the state of California, recognizing completion of the program, the apprenticeship portion of the program. Okay, Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Christiaan. And listen, for all of you, you've hung in there for about 90 minutes, so thank you very much. And let me make this quick, but talk about the Apprenticeship and Job Program. And first, though, the way I would encourage you to think about this overall Technest program is you've got layers of goodness, if you will. And the first thing is in terms of the caliber of the instructors, who you've heard from them all. The short duration, these courses are only about 12 weeks long. They cost about $150 a piece. I almost dare you to find a better program for that amount of time and cost. So I think the courses, particularly those leading up to a certificate, are a fantastic value as viewed by employers. And that's I think maybe the first and most important thing to consider why take these courses. The second thing is you've heard about all these different partners and support networks. So in addition to the courses, you've got the employment services like what you heard from Stephen, or Work to Future like what Lawrence and others have represented. So you've got a whole bunch of partnerships that come into play in this sort of thing. And I represent an educational charitable foundation called Microfacturing. We are the industry side of this partnership. So to be clear, Microfacturing is an educational charitable foundation, but nearly all of us come from industry. So basically, one of the partnerships we have with San Jose City College, which has been going on now for about 3 years, is that we are connected to a number of employers, in the Bay Area and elsewhere, and we connect people with Technest credentials to those employers. Now, some of the questions you might have is, hey, is there a guarantee of a paid apprenticeship or an internship or a job? Absolutely not. Our job is simply to make sure that we get your credentials should you have them and should you apply to this, in front of some employers that you probably might not be able to get on your own. So if you look at the first round of when we started getting Technest qualified people placed in paid internships or apprenticeships, it was actually in 2018. That was the first year that we actually did the program. In the back half of that year, a couple dozen people were placed into paid internships or apprenticeships. So from a standing start, it actually got off to a pretty positive start. Now, I think it's obvious to everybody, but with this year and COVID, it's tough going out there. Most employers are not hiring. So in terms of, what practical expectations should any of you be forming around if I take this course or I get this certificate, are you on autopilot for getting into a job? Certainly not. It's a tough hiring environment out there. And this is a competitive process. So employers will look at this talent pool, really assess people's backgrounds, what type of credentials, education, and job training do they have, and hire when they have positions available to hire into. Now, having said that, why do I think this is very appealing, the Technest program for employers? One, it has worked quite well in the past. COVID aside, which we're all, working through right now. Second, if you take a look at the skills, data science, programming, entrepreneurship, IoT, all the other cool things about Technest, those are skill sets that are very appealing to a wide variety of employers. So we had a few questions about, hey, is there an apprenticeship in programming? Is there an apprenticeship in IoT? Or is there an apprenticeship in some other thing? There is no specific apprenticeship towards any individual skill. What we are saying is that the overall basket of skills that are represented in Technest, in any of their certificates, we think are highly marketable. So you can check out more information on this apprenticeship and job training program is at the website you see on your screen right now. It's free to register. And emphasis will be going towards people that have at least several classes completed to this. It's been mentioned already, but programming, either through Technest, or maybe you've got those credentials already, you've got the opportunity to bring that forward. Data science for sure, at least one course in IoT, and more. So I would encourage you to check out the program, register when you can, and we will do our best to get your name and credentials in front of employers across the country as people get back to hiring as well. So I'll be happy to take any questions, but we are huge fans of this Technest program as viewed from the industry side. And at least in my experience, this is a unique program. I haven't seen anything like this for this amount of time and money expenditure. So that does it, folks. I'll turn it back to Mark or whomever.
So did anybody have any questions about the apprenticeship or maybe something else that we discussed earlier tonight?
Hello. Yeah, I got a question.
Sure.
So, okay, sorry. So anyway, my question I would like to ask is, I do not drive or have a car, but would I be able to work from home if I were to get, for example, were to get a job in tech?
That would be completely up to the employer, right? So for instance, we don't hire, neither does San Jose City College hire directly into that. That's up to the employers, and it would be completely, up to the employer whether that works or not.
Okay, because the reason I ask is I don't really plan on getting a driver's license anytime soon, so I just thought I asked a question because I wasn't sure how that's going to work.
Sure.
All right, thank you.
Certainly.
Did anybody else have any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question on the CIS, data analysis, which starts in fall and ends in spring. That's what I heard from Sanjay Doraraj. So just want to know, is it possible to join now any of those courses from 120 to 124? if I'm right.
The courses are offered as a cohort-based system, so it is so it's not possible to join now. I mean, if you're already in, then you join, then you continue into spring, and then the next opportunity is during fall. So that said, I mean, I think I know a lot of students have had this, have asked about this. So we'll take that back and then we'll come back and let you know if anything changes there.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, if there's not any more questions, and Mark?